Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. This is our live in-studio show in the BPTV studios right in the municipal building by the police station. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7 locally in Bethel Park. You can also watch us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and everywhere else from Nemacolin, greater city of Pittsburgh, in the city, and out to Cranberry and Wexford. We appreciate all the watching of our shows, and we're on from Tuesday night to Saturday night from 7 o'clock to 8 p.m. Just tune in. It's public access TV, so there's no information to tell you that it's Pittsburgh Sportsline. You got to trust us, and we've been doing this since October 11th, 2011. So thanks for watching again. We appreciate it. Now, I didn't get a chance to check our likes today, but I heard we were like 5,384. So I don't know if we're up from that or not. We got Devin Shea in the control room. We got Ethan there. We got our newest, best cameraman right here with us, Jeff. He puts up with all the questions that I ask him and more. Plus, they're constantly talking in his headset there. Some of those are voices of his own, and others are with Devin and the boys in there. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, did anybody tell him the headsets don't work?
No. Well, here's the sure sign. Like, Chip, what you don't realize is one of them does not work, and he switched it. So now he has the one that works.
Okay.
So it was a little dicey there, but we appreciate all the volunteers that help out in our studio. It's just a great thing to have, to be able to do a show and have people helping us. So I appreciate it. I'm getting a message from Devin. Okay, here we go. 5,388 likes. So we gained 4 in less than 24 hours. Thank you, folks. We do appreciate it. Whoa, get that. Mosquitoes are coming by.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, I don't need no Zika.
Don't even start explaining. This is a sports talk show, and we're going to start our show off. Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself, and thanks for watching. Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Chip the Prophet Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, and we have our man Ernie Cush coming off the bench this is like his 3rd show here, and he just crushed the pizza. I don't know what happened. I got to give the promo on Olive Oil's Pizzeria before we get started.
That's why I'm here.
This was one of the reasons. This was one of the best pizzas we've had at this time. From Olive Oil's Pizzeria and that Italian hoagie. Smoking Jim, you'll see him biting it, and sometimes he catches a finger. Call 412-831-1900. While I was there, they must have put out 9 different pasta dishes and salads. I think everybody was feeding their families before the Pens win the game tonight. So we'll talk more about that later. And we start our show off with, if you didn't realize, we don't just babble on and talk, conversation the whole time. We have a segment where we start, what's on your mind? Ernie, I know you traveled a far distance, but what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is to finish up a little bit from last time when talking to Chip. He talked about Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters, and my brother had caught the 2nd no-hitter, and just so I have a little proof on it, this was a Sports Illustrated.
Get a close-up of that. That's a classic.
That was Sports Illustrated, and it's about at the top. That's Clemens, but then at the top is a thing on Nolan Ryan.
I was going to say
Magnificent 7.
He didn't look that chubby.
No, but he just went on my weight.
He didn't look like he was on steroids either.
He went on my weight loss program.
Yeah, but he didn't look like he was on steroids either.
They didn't even
like Clemens.
They couldn't even pronounce that back then. But there's my brother up here in the picture here. He was his picture's in black and white because
say his name.
Art Kushner.
Good looks running the family.
Yeah, well, he's a Hungarian thing. And
hey, my grandmother was from Budapest, so I'll jump right on that bandwagon. Hey. She come here in like 1903.
Well, my name got screwed up in Ellis Island. I think it should have an H in it. It doesn't, and I think the paper got wet when they were so damp that it just kind of erased.
My grandmother's name was Hertz, her maiden name.
Hertz?
H, because they got the H right on hers, and her and her sister, Hertz.
I heard of Hertz.
Yeah, I've been all over that Hungary thing.
Try harder.
My son played professional basketball over there, and he got a dual citizenship. I used to watch those games. Those people were crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that information.
Yeah,
so that's on your mind to verify. unlike Smoking Jim Frazier, who doesn't verify anything, he's writing right now some fiction. I mean, facts.
He's doing his report. You know, I'm cheating off him, by the way.
Like
No, don't copy anything from him. Continue your thought on that.
Well, anyway, I had another thought is that I'd gone through my stuff and my stuff.
We all got stuff.
And it's like Pittsburgh City of Champions. This is a bumper sticker, you know.
Back in the day.
This was the bumper sticker. And then to top things off, is you wonder, I brought this hat with me.
There you
Okay.
go. That was given to you by Pops?
This was given to me by Pops. You see the stars on there? We have the S.
With the stars away.
Yeah, it was just,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's.
I might wear this the whole
Come the end of the
show.
season,
You know
some
what?
guys'
You
hats
look
were
so
just filled
good
up
in
with
it.
it. Every time
Just
you did
wear it the whole
something
show.
I could
special, hit a
look at
home
that.
run.
Batter up.
All right, so
Stargell will
I
give you
wanted to
star.
show some proof that I knew Stargell. If this picture here, as you zoom in the back on the scoreboard, guys, if you could see that.
We can't see it over
That's the
here.
guy that's on the statue.
Yeah, there's a statue of him. He talks to me. I'll go down. Anyway, it says on the back there, and the welcome to Game 4 of the 1979 World Series, and then that was on Saturday. Then on Sunday, the game was a rain delay. I'm sure not many remember, but I do.
I seem to not recall that.
But if you remember, well, I'll show you the tape. This is
wanna
in the
see it.
locker room. This is Sister Sledge had sent the Pirates their flowers.
Oh my goodness.
And that's Willie in front signing the thing. It's a little blurry. It's not the best production I've ever done, but
Hey,
you know,
what? It's verification.
it's
That's it.
verification. Then this was so that next year I went to spring training.
Black and white.
Black and white. Yeah, this was Selena.
Very popular.
Yeah, this is there's the orange orchards, whatever you call them. I got to do some things with Bill Madlock. He did some in-store
Mad Dog.
appearances because I was working for Converse at the time. And then I had an opportunity to work with the Steelers back then too, back in '79. As I continued that story, and here's Rocky and I.
Taller than Rocky Fly.
Oh yeah, he was the guard.
Smoking Jim, ask Ernie his height again.
Come
so you
on,
can
man.
verify that. Go
So
ahead, Ernie. Tell him. He forgot.
my height
Yes.
in 1.96 meters, which would be 6'5" in American. And other things on my mind, I just grabbing through some stuff now that the Pacers are out of it and stuff. But Larry Bird doing an autograph session with him.
Oh, my favorite.
Took care of that. I got so many autographs of him, I don't even know where they are. I step
That's
on
your
them.
man.
And I'm pretty much, I could go on. Oh, one other
We're
thing
going to
here.
save
Whoa.
that for a little later.
Yeah, but there's
when
one
we do
picture.
The Ernie segment.
This is the picture I thought, this was the picture I took. I was at this 1979, 80, it was 80 February, of the NBA All-Star game.
There he is.
And this picture, you can see, was perfectly timed with his legs open and the referee back there, and all three of them were wearing the Converse shoe.
I think that's
I was
right.
endorsing.
So it is true.
Huh?
Dr. J could fly.
He could. So,
With Converse.
does you know who that other player is in there? Played at North Carolina?
Not the jumper.
David Thompson.
Not David Thompson.
No, he played at NC State.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Walter Davis.
Whoa.
Who's
Hey,
that? Never heard of him.
I
See?
heard of Walter Davis, yes, sir.
And one of the things which I'm going to touch on later and let these guys get rolling because I want to hear their stories, of course. You know, this
No,
was...
what's on our mind?
On-
You got stories.
Well, my mind is a story, okay?
All right.
But this is something, I don't know if these are going to come out, but this is group pictures of... Oh, there goes my stuff. I feel like Johnny Carson show here.
That's what it's like.
Okay, if you look at this, this is, I don't know if you get a close-up of that. That's going to be tough. This
Yeah.
was, in these pictures here, are Larry Bird, you've got Roy Williams.
We can't even tell. Can you get the magnifying?
Yeah, I mean, this is the Converse trips we took. You know, there's all these people in here that are
We
Nolan
need a
Richardson.
telescope on our cameras.
Well, I'm going to go high-tech here as soon as I...
Nolan Richardson, 40 Minutes of Hell, right?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll have the
Yeah,
Ernie
from
K.
Arkansas.
But
We'll have the
don't-
Ernie K segment.
There'll be more coming as
And
I...
if you have to pick stuff off the floor, we'll take the camera off you when we go to Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Well,
you got to see Levine. I'll catch like Nolan Ryan on that one.
That doesn't even make sense. He caught a lot of balls. Do you understand the catcher throws it back on every play?
That's what I understood.
Okay, good.
But what's on my mind will be real quick. First of all,
No. Take your time, buddy.
I got to give a shout out to Soul Pit.
Donna Baxter.
Donna Baxter. A lot of people may not know it. It's a lot of black.
It's a quarterly.
It's a quarterly.
Yeah, it's not Jet Magazine.
It's not Jet, but it's getting close.
It's
And
Pittsburgh.
they kick out 10,000 copies.
Every quarter.
Just so happens, I thought I was too old to be a centerfold. They
Ooh,
got me in there.
let's see this.
Look at
And
that.
there's a-
Aren't you a handsome
Oh.
dog?
in
Wow.
the centerfold of, so I want to thank Donna Baxter for that, and I'll try not to say too much about us, Johnstown. But anywho,
What were you in there for?
being some kind of producer or something on TV.
Just for being himself.
But
How
I
did
want
they
to
find out?
I want
couldn't.
to also give a moment of silence for Penn Hills being 170 million in debt.
What you? s-
How much of that rolled your way?
Yeah, so
You bet it on the ponies.
here's to another 150 million more.
You bet that on the ponies.
See, you could donate. Jeez.
Also, here's we got the show and tell. Me and Al Levine, the Talking Machine, did probably the best show I've ever been a part of. 5 minutes Talking Machine interview. It was a great interview. We had this young lady who wrote a book, Deborah Clark, and my main man, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, had the egg timer on all the guests. 5 minutes and you were done, but it was an outstanding show. Had a lot of fun today. That's Jimmy Brown. By the
Ooh.
way, that's Jimmy Brown with her. And Jimmy Brown likes young girls. Me too.
Well, the last person, one of the last few people to win a championship in Cleveland.
He wasn't old then.
That's right.
Except
And
for the UFC guy, Smokey
Yeah.
Jim. You didn't research him.
Believe
UFC
Land,
just won
right?
a
You watch
championship.
Believe
In
Land?
Cleveland, yes.
okay.
You watch
Al Levine,
I was
stand
notified
corrected.
last week that it sort of got fluffed over there.
I did hear
And,
somebody.
and you'll
say
have that.
But real quick, what's on my mind is I actually talked to the Wizard of Oz recently. Ozzie Newsome was able to talk to him a little bit about the draft, where we got into a bit of an argument a little bit. I wanted to find out why the Baltimore Ravens, who I got a lot of respect for, Ozzie Newsome, and what he's done as a general manager. Like I told him, they'll never win again without Ray Lewis, especially passing on guys like Tyler Boyd. Wizard of Oz told me that the reason that they passed on Tyler Boyd was because their wide receiver coach, the legendary Bobby Ingram from Penn State, was the receiver coach at the University of Pittsburgh, and he thought Bobby Ingram would be too close to Tyler Boyd, so they decided to pass on Tyler Boyd, and I told them that they're going to have to face him for the next 15 years. So that's what's on my mind. The Wizard of Oz made a mistake on Tyler Boyd.
Smoking Jim Frazier. Thank you. And Ernie K.,
Yes.
thanks for wearing that hat. You were just super on your part. That we had to get you to hit a period because we're going to have a segment for you with the great stuff. Did you pick up the stuff that hit the floor?
Yeah, well, there was a couple things. I left it in the car.
I'm just getting a current update on that because now we're going to go.
The only thing I tell you what hit the floor. You can move on, but
Okay.
if the NBA finals are going on, right?
Yes.
Well, the semifinals.
Well,
yeah.
semifinals, obviously, and right now Oklahoma City, which play tonight. But this is a picture of Billy Donovan,
That's Billy Donovan?
and he has the Converse shoes on, and he was one of our endorsers back in the day. This is
And moving forward,
My man.
there you
take
go.
a time out there.
That's all that fell. Go
We're
ahead,
good.
Chip.
We'll get you back. Chip Painter, what's on your mind?
Thank you, Alan. And unfortunately, folks, I don't have trinkets. I don't have baubles. I don't have pictures of famous people. But I've just got my humble opinion about it, and I hope that's good enough. But first off,
It is good enough.
I
That's
would
what we want to
like
hear.
I would like to say a congratulatory note out to James Conner, running back from Pitt, who found out that his cancer's in remission. They say they can't yet say he's cancer free, but they feel that he's got it beat. So congratulations for him.
Yes.
He's been an inspiration for everybody. You know, they even offered him a celebrity status at the hospital, so he didn't have to be around. And he chose to be around everybody else and be around an inspiration to him. So what a fine young gentleman, and I can't wait to see what he does this fall.
Sure.
The Pitt Panthers, I wish him well.
And he kept working out the whole time.
Yes,
he didn't stop.
Also, I want to make sure that everybody has a quiet moment for Ryan Vogelsong, pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Took a 92-mile-an-hour fastball to the face yesterday. They still don't know the extent of the fractures in his face because of the swelling. But apparently, he didn't do any permanent damage to his left eye. Thank God for that, and I hope he heals quickly. So we'll make mention of that.
Yep.
So now, what's on my mind? What's on my mind tonight? Game 6. Penguins, Lightning. Okay, the Lightning came into Pittsburgh on Sunday night, and they slapped around the Penguins. Let the Penguins get up by 2, and then they dominated. Coach chose to start Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury has won a Stanley Cup. He's been the Penguins franchise goaltender for the last 10 years. Matt Murray was a little bit shaky in his previous start, so they start Marc-Andre Fleury. And the reason why the Penguins lost the game on Sunday night certainly was not Marc-Andre Fleury's fault. There was quite a number of other reasons why the Penguins didn't win that night. The absence of superstars playing like superstars would be one of the reasons. Chris Letang, who's been the Penguins' best defenseman, was a -4. But here's where I have an issue with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the so-called leadership they have on the team. Okay? So I'll just real quickly paint the scenario. You play a very emotional game in the conference finals. You lose the game at the end, and you've got your big four. Okay, we'll call them the big four. It's Crosby, it's Malkin, it's Letang, it's Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury hasn't played in 7 weeks. After the game's over, okay, Marc-Andre Fleury sits down to be interviewed by the reporters after the game. Who disappears? Sid Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, the guys that stunk up the joint and that were really responsible for the Penguins losing the game. Now, what kind of leadership does that show for the rest of the team when the people that are supposed to be your leaders, the people that are supposed to take charge, just conveniently they disappear during the game? They disappear during a press conference. When else are they going to disappear? I sure hope it isn't tonight, because I really would like to see the Penguins win and take this to a 7th game. But, here's the thing, and I know a lot of people have a negative opinion about Ben Roethlisberger for, the reasons are many, and I don't need to get into those right now. The one thing I admire about Ben Roethlisberger, he accepts responsibility for the way his team performs. He takes responsibility. It's my fault. This loss is on me. I have to do better. Last year in April, Andrew McCutcheon was horrible, batted less than 200, and he came out and he said, this is my fault. I played horribly. I need to do better. But what does Sid Crosby do? He scores 1 goal in game 2 to win the game in overtime, which is great, but he scored 1 goal in the last 2 goals in the last 2 series. Okay? He disappears. There's no explanation. There's no accountability. There's no accepting any responsibility. And now, if that's leadership, then I got the wrong definition in my head. But I really do hope the Penguins win tonight and carry on and win the Stanley Cup. But to be honest with you, I think it's time that the big four for the Pittsburgh Penguins got split up.
Whoa. Ooh. Whoa.
You heard it here first, right?
Well, and he's been saying it for a while.
Have you?
I have a little different opinion. I want to talk about what's on my mind is just Penguins, because they're playing a very tough team. Mm-hmm. This isn't an easy team. And they've had injuries. They've had guys like Letang playing 30 minutes. He's tired. He's doing things because he's getting mad, and he's actually exhausted. So what they need to do is sit him back a little bit. Don't let him play the 30 minutes. Let him play his 25, 27 minutes, and tell him, pass that puck and get the puck down there. Don't be going after these guys. It's a strategy from the coach. And the coach is going to take charge, because what I've noticed and what I like, you have a power outage among your top people. But they're still playing. They're actually going north to south, even Malkin. And he did come back later and say, I guarantee he pulled a Joe Namath because he didn't know who Joe Namath was. I guarantee we'll have a 7th game. So that means they're going to win the 6th one. When they don't show up, a lot of these guys, they just don't have it. Like Jaromir Jagr was one of the greatest players here, but he was never a captain material. He was never a leader, never one to take charge. And people would say, oh, he sulked or did that. Well, sure he was like that, but he wasn't your leader. He was a guy that could put the puck in the net, and if you needed it, that's what we need. Some of the young guys we have, if you look back at the game, we were 2-0. If Kessel, instead of setting that puck, would have just shot it, there was like a couple-foot gap there. So even if it's rolling around, I know they like to steady it, but you know what? The goaltender for Tampa Bay is playing lights out. Without him, we already win this series. That's how simple it would be. With the power outage we've had leads and lost them. We've gone to overtime. So we have the talent. We're able to compete with them, but you have to watch. Just like one of the goals in my mind by Fleury was a soft one. The others, where were the defenders on the wrong side of the net? How do you do that?
I don't believe that Marc-Andre Fleury was the reason why the Penguins
No, I'm confirming it also with you because that was part of my rant all through today and different people I met, and I'm listening to some of the radio shows. They want to get rid of him. Put it like this, you don't play for 7 weeks. The speed of the game is unreal. He did well. And Matt Murray may not have stopped those goals either that went in because they were on him. The defense didn't stop him. They're supposed to get in the way at least, not be opposite. So I'm optimistic. I can't wait for 8:15 or whenever the first puck gets dropped, and they do it because I believe, as Sullivan has done with each time they lose, they come out like they burn all the bridges. They got nowhere else to go but play Tampa till they win. And I just hope that they score early and often. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go Pens. I believe you can win. We'll work that stuff out after the season's over, but this is your time.
Well,
So.
you know, and here just to make one final comment in regards to Pens, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later in the show, is take into account the Penguins are losing 3-2 right now to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning have not had their Vezina Trophy finalist goaltender in the net,
Right.
and they haven't had their top scorer play a single game. Imagine what the difference would be. They've got two of their top 2 players aren't even
Yeah,
playing.
but imagine this, that their goaltender now is playing better than almost anybody at 21 years old. So, I mean, that's unreal. But again, when you have great players, they have to start somewhere.
They have to start somewhere, but when you have great players, you play them a tremendous amount of money, they need to perform great. And
Chip, I coined that power outage the last 3 years. I didn't want it this year to appear again, but it's starting to. So I'm hopeful that the big stars can get the puck in there. That's what I'm looking for tonight. And I say again, I predicted they'd go to the Lord Stanley Finals. This is how you got to do it. You got to win Game 6. This is more important than any other game all year. This is it. So let's go Pens, and we'll be watching that game right after this show. So thanks for watching. Glad you listened to us, and we got some other segments we're going to do right now. And we start with Smokin' Jim with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. I just want to say I'm proud of my Pens, and I don't want them to.
You don't even know who they are.
I don't want them to.
Did you say pens? Because you have a pen there, and I have another one I'll give you. You got 2 pens.
And I'm proud of my big 4, and I don't want to.
You don't even know who that is.
I don't want to break them up at all.
Can you say their names?
But with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac, goes back a few years, and it kind of stumbled on one. West Mifflin had an outstanding basketball player who was only a junior named Brian McAllister. And he was breaking all kind of records. Pitt, everybody was recruiting him as a junior. I believe he led the WPIL in scoring as a junior and a senior. And his dad used to play at West Virginia University and a football player. And West Mifflin had built a brand new gym, and it was senior night. And it was the night that they opened up their brand new gym at West Mifflin High School. So I get there early, and they have a girls' game. And I remember seeing this black girl, and I felt sorry for her because West Mifflin at the time was a predominantly white school. And this was before Duquesne closed, and they sent all the kids from Duquesne into West Mifflin to change the complexion of the school.
Well, you stole my word.
But, and I felt sorry for this black girl because all the white kids on the team had their parents there for senior night, and she had her grandmother there. Yeah. And so I'm looking out there, and I didn't know much about girls basketball at the time. And all of a sudden, in the first half, they're playing Still Valley.
Wow.
And Still Valley had a little white girl on the team that nobody could stop. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like at the edge of my seat. I'm watching this game. And this black girl for West Mifflin scores, and then this little white girl come back for Still Valley and score, and back and forth. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. Well, in the second half, they put the black girl on the little white girl from Still Valley.
That's a surprise.
Kind of slowed her down a little bit. I find out after the game that they're the two best players in the state. Both of them have full scholarships to Penn State. One name is Jessica Strom.
Whoa.
After she did some great things at Penn State, now she's the head basketball coach of KLU girls team, and they won a national championship a year ago.
Yes, they did.
And the black girl's name is Tanisha Wright, who's still playing professional basketball. Her photo was just in the paper. So then I stick around for the guys' game. And
What a letdown.
yeah. And I'm watching the guys'
What
game.
did you see there?
And Brian McAllister had a great game. But Still Valley had a kid who I was familiar with, was their starting quarterback, had a full ride. The Pitt named Luke Getzey, who was a senior. And Luke did great things, and I think Luke is now the one of the assistant coaches with the Green Bay Packers, went to Pitt, and later transferred to University of Akron and did some great things. So I stumbled onto a game to go see Brian McAllister and ended up seeing 3 other superstars along with him. So that's a fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Sometimes you just stumble onto something.
Well, Smoking Jim, here's a surprising fact that you were actually early for the boys' basketball game. And I find it shocking. If you didn't drop their names and I know of them, I'd be questioning whether you even made it early there, because that's a rarity. Sorry, Smoking. Just couldn't hold back. All right, we got Chip. What do you have with Chip's trivia time?
Well, thank you, Alan. And got a bunch of interesting trivia. And just to speak to Ernie's comment about his brother catching Nolan Ryan's second no-hitter, it was?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in 1989, on April the 23rd, Nolan Ryan came within 2 outs of his 6th career no-hitter, losing it when Nelson Liriano tripled in the 9th inning. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, besides the fact that he pitched 7 of them, he came within 2 batters of potentially an 8th. So that's but okay, I'm all over the place with some trivia today, so bear with me. You know, I've used this term before. Alan understands it. Jim always kind of looked at me kind of quizzically when I would mention this, but we've always referred to the National League as the senior circuit. Yeah. And the reason why, because the very first National League baseball game was played on April 22nd, 1876. So that was 140 years ago that the National League started playing.
Red Stockings.
Boston defeated Philadelphia 6-5.
Wow. Nobody saw that. That's sitting there.
Okay. Found some interesting bits of trivia, and one went all the way back to 1959. And the Chicago White Sox scored 11 runs with only 1 hit in the 7th inning of a 20-6 rout of Kansas City A's. Now, how do you score that many runs with only 1 hit? Well, the opposing pitcher issued 10 walks, 5 with the bases loaded, 3 Kansas City errors, and 1 hit batsman. And
that'll do it.
That will do it. And you want to talk about, an exercise in futility? And I'm sure the manager didn't pull the pitcher. He had to suffer through that. And speaking of futility, And I do believe I was at this game. It was a black mark in the Pittsburgh Pirates history, all the way back in 2010. And this takes us back to the fiery manager John Russell, who had no business being behind a major
Luckily,
league
you're
bench.
sarcastic.
Yes, I was dripping with sarcasm. But the Milwaukee Brewers piled up 25 hits to trounce the Pirates 20-0, the most lopsided loss in Pirates history. That was painful to watch. I was there. The 2010 season, I went to about 13 or 14 games that year, and that was my most painful season as a Pittsburgh Pirates lifelong fan.
Ticket.
Yeah, I've got some framed, but that wouldn't be one of them.
That's history.
Okay. And 1954, April 23rd, Hank Aaron hits his first home run of his major league career. Okay, here's what. In 1964, April the 23rd, Ken Johnson of the Houston Colt 45s, who was the predecessor to the Houston Astros, became the first pitcher to lose a 9-inning no-hitter when Pete Rose scored an unearned run to give the Reds a 1-0 victory.
Hall of Fame.
Charlie Hustle, and the only guy that is going to lead the league forever in singles not to be in the Hall of Fame by his choice.
Well, and that brings me to another one, because I do, as much as I am not a fan of Pete Rose, he did. There was a Pirates
One
pitcher.
interruption. You got to like this. Polanco, 3-run home run.
And I just got to tell you something. I love 3-run homers. But, okay.
Thank you, Devin Shea, on the update.
In 1963, okay, Pete Rose got the first single of his illustrious career off of the Pittsburgh Pirates' Bob Friend.
Whoa.
Okay.
That was a great segue.
There's something that doesn't happen much in the majors anymore that used to happen more a century ago than it happens now. And I think it would make the game much more exciting if they tried it more often. But base running, stealing bases was an art. And in the top of the ninth inning on May 23rd, 1910, Cincinnati's Dode Paskert stole second base, stole third base, and stole home plate to win the game.
All you need is speed.
That's it. That's a very unusual thing there. 1968, May 18th, Frank Howard hit his 10th home run in a 6-game span. That's a pretty impressive statistic. Randy Johnson in 2004, May 18th, became the oldest pitcher in Major League history to throw a perfect game, retiring all 27 hitters to lead the Diamondbacks over the Atlanta Braves 2-0. It was the 17th perfect game in Major League Baseball history. 27 up, 27 down. And I got one last one, and I know this will make my friend Jim Frazier smile. Well, actually two. 1935, May 23rd, the very first night game played.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture on Facebook today of them flipping the switches to turn the lights on in the ballpark before the game.
Really?
And they got the okay to turn the switch from the President of the United States, nonetheless.
Because it was America's pastime.
It was America and still is. Okay, so now that my last bit of trivia is it's hockey related, and it goes to the highest point scorers in NHL playoff hockey history. Now, there are 5 men that have achieved 200 postseason points in the NHL. 4 of them played on the same team in the 1980s.
Wow.
Okay, that would have been the Edmonton Oilers,
Gretzky.
and there would be Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Yari Curry, and Glenn Anderson.
Wow.
Okay, and the 5th player became the 5th player this year, none other than Jim's favorite hockey player, Jaromir Jagr.
Give me that kind of trivia.
That's what we got for trivia this week.
Thanks,
Great
Chip.
job.
Very good.
Very good.
Told you, I had something for everybody there.
I like that.
I didn't know he was coming, and I had a Nolan Ryan piece.
We'll go to our Ernie K segment, then I'll do On Location after that. So, Ernie K, what haven't you shown out of your binders, folders?
Well, I've didn't want to bring too much because the bag's only so big. But,
Understand that.
I didn't, you know.
We'll try to keep it simple.
You couldn't back the Ryder truck up to the
Yeah, I
building?
couldn't. I was sorting through things. No, the things that what I liked is Smoking Jim's thing here. I want to know who supplied the clothes for him. You should have a thing that says
That's his line of clothes.
that's his line of clothes. So call 1-800-James. You know,
No,
Smoking
you
Jim.
can't go by his government name. It's Smoking Jim Frazier out of Monroeville.
The only I didn't really the pictures I had.
Do you have a couple that you could put out there?
Yeah, they're too small though. You know what I mean? They're.
Or you want to talk about it because you can actually talk on this show. And
I can talk. This was these are trips that we took in the summer. Now these are going to be tough. We kind of showed these earlier. It said tilt forward. Okay, this is a group of people, right? Who's in that picture? Okay,
Tell us.
Tell us. In the summer when I worked for Converse, we used to take our endorsers. And we would take them on trips. And we were at Lake Tahoe. We went to Bermuda one year, went to the West Indies, Colorado Springs. We went on a cruise. And some of the
Colorado Springs.
Yep. In the summer, in August, we took our wives, and I was in sports marketing with Converse then, and we had people like Rick Barnes, who's the coach at Tennessee, Larry Bird and his wife Diana, was Denny Crum, Julius Irving and his wife Turquoise, Larry Finch, Eddie Fogler, Chris Ford used to coach the Celtics and played for him, Mo Iba, Hank Iba's son, Speedy Morris, let's see, Nolan Richardson,
And
Calvin
what were you
Sampson.
doing there?
Huh?
What was going on?
Well, we brought these guys together because it was a marketing thing to take them on a trip to promote our product, Converse, and we were like, when we take all this gear with us, I mean, all the equipment, all the shoes, and we do presentations. I guess tax-wise, that's how you would write it off. Mm-hmm. And so we entertain these guys and train them on saying, okay, make sure you wear the hat, you know, that says Converse, or wear your product, what we were doing as a company, what we're doing with the thing, because we were competing against a company that was coming on pretty strong. You might have heard of it. Nike, okay?
I heard of that.
Okay.
Just do it.
Just do it, yeah. Just all they did was just do it. Okay.
They did.
Now they own Converse, right?
Exactly.
So this, yeah, they sure do. And Adidas owns Reebok, and it's, you know, it's all the kind of crazy stuff going on, to jumping over into the shoe world of what's going on there. What's on my mind as far as the NBA's going, hockey.
We discussed that.
We discussed that. But the NBA, there's right now, Under Armour is really hoping that the Golden State, or what are they called? Who are they called? What is it? They're in the championship. The Warriors.
The Warriors,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
sir.
Fucking Jim
Just
already
messing.
declared them the greatest team
Oh yeah.
Well,
in history.
so he's wearing Under Armour, so Stephon Curry is, so that's a big plug for them. But back in those days, we had all these different players wearing Converse, and then things just went away because of Nike coming on and just poor management, old type things, that they just didn't stay with the market. And in fact, Billy Donovan was on the trip too, who's Tom
You're
Izzo.
dropping some big names.
Tom
out there.
Izzo, yeah, I'm dropping them.
Tom Izzo was on there?
Tom Izzo, spent time with him. There was a guy named Ernie Kushner on the trip with his wife Jill. In fact, you know what we did? We did these karaoke's thing, and I won I videotaped Julius Irving and a lot of the singers, guys doing this. It's crazy if they knew I had it. Doug Collins, you know Doug?
Yeah.
Who says
Yes.
it? Doug's in there. I saw him at the Final Four, so I got you on video when we were playing golf. But I did a thing, I did Elvis Presley, Falling in Love, you know.
You can sing too.
And I won the contest. So then every year I'd go, we had to get up there. I had to make a fool of myself doing Elvis impersonation of Elvis Presley, which we'll go live with that. Could you go to the produce? No, we don't
We
have
are
that.
live.
We
And we're
are
gonna shut you down, man.
We don't have
your
it.
segment. We got two of what's on your mind.
But there's just I'm floating around as far as all the different things I've done, and just trying to find the right stuff to talk about. You know, there's the Pirates and the.
Well, hold on 1 second. I'm asking questions about what you've done. So it's interesting to see somebody that started here in Pittsburgh in 1979 and you're dropping names like crazy from all over the country, let alone Pirates and Steelers.
Well,
We appreciate that, just so you
the-
know.
well, the
Don't
thi-
worry about
well,
what you're trying to bring
all right.
out. We got it.
the thing is I worked for the shoe company. Converse was the shoe company. Took 3 years to get the job.
Right.
Interviewed, didn't get the job. Didn't get the job.
I can see why.
I think I told that story on your show.
Yes.
Well, it was tough. My dad
I'm
wasn't.
going to have your son critique
My
this
dad-
in Australia.
My son's in Australia. Jeez. So I got this job, and all I had to do was say, "I'm Ernie from Converse," and I go, "Whoa, come on in. Oh, by the way, I wear size 11." You know.
Wow.
So well, I says, "Well, you know, I
Hey, by
got
the way, I got to interrupt you.
Yeah,
You have
please.
any Converse shoes?
left.
Yeah.
I have a few. Yeah, I've saved a few. I have some autographed shoes. I got Larry Bird's Olympic shoes, and
That's what I care about.
I got
Sorry to direct you on something,
No,
but
I got-
sometimes I do that.
Mark Aguirre shoes. You know, the Pistons when they won it all.
Yeah.
Did some things. with-
Detroit.
Paul.
That's Detroit.
Played for Ray Myers.
Yeah, and then the Elo played with the Cavs, and that's when Jordan hit the shot over him. In fact, there's a thing. Have you seen it on ESPN? Believe it. What is it? Believe Land or whatever. It's about
Yeah.
Cleveland. Well, I grew up
I
I grew up in Akron, so
You know what? That's for another show.
It
You're
is.
welcome back maybe sometime in June. I'm going to give you a vacation.
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
go-
go on vacation.
I'm going to Houston. I'm
see
going to go to
us
Houston.
see us in June.
Maybe I'll see Norman Ryan in Houston. I might take a hookup with him. He's
There you
he's
go.
part of the
Get a current photo. We would like that. A nice size one.
yeah
And we'll put it up there.
selfie or something.
No, don't. You got long arms. You
He
could
always
do it.
was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He always was.
That would be nice. Ernie, thank
Hey,
you for the information, the photos. I appreciate you bringing all that stuff in. here.
Stuff. I got a lot
All
of
right.
stuff.
We'll have more, and you can come back in June to visit us. All right?
I'd love to.
You got it. Have a
Love
nice,
to, we'd love to have you.
yeah,
love to
have a
be
nice
here.
vacation. I'm going right to On Location here. Last night we had one of our most unique shows. Chip, you're going to be interested in a part of this. We're at Atria's PNC Park. We'll be back there June 13th for another show. But I'm not sure if you noticed, maybe even on one of your tickets, there was a young child who's autistic, and he's a Pedro fan. He actually paints a beard on, and they put him on the Pirate tickets for one of the games.
Okay.
And he's been interviewed on TV. He's talked to Bob Walk and others. He was on our show. He's like 8 years old, and he can talk sports like you can't believe.
Nice.
It was impressive. He got this beard for Pedro, but you know, Pedro's gone. So somebody goes, "Where's Pedro?" He goes, "With Baltimore." His mother and dad go, "We're going to go to a Baltimore game so he can see him." But I go, "Who's your favorite now?" Liriano is his favorite player right now. So, and I go, "Why do you like him?" He goes, "He's a good pitcher." So, but he was very impressive. He was just one of the kids there. We had a boxer who could maybe be in the Olympics someday, Mike Demos, and his dad who survived cancer. I mean, we just had some great people on the show. We had a lady with nutrition, Lisa, come on the show, and Smoking Jim brought his business partner, and you know her, Jody Velasquez, with, oh wait, she gave me another free book, but I've read it, Smoking Jim. One of her newest ones, Transitioning for Professional Athletes. So, Ernie, you always see a lot of people and they're moving and different things. I wanted to give you this book
Oh,
by
okay.
our friend and author. If you know any athletes that are moving or even people in general, she has so many tips in there. I'll get a little endorsement from Chip and Stephanie Hayner.
And I will tell you this: my wife, we met Jody when we were doing our show,
Sip.
Sports Bar, and Jody met my wife. And while we were filming the show, my wife and she sat there and she, let her leaf through the
Slick Move Guide.
the Slick Move Guide. And she let Stephanie take it home, and then we brought it back like the next week. Well, Stephanie, we ended up moving very shortly afterwards. And in all my years, I have never had as organized a move as she had, using a lot of the tips there.
Jody's great.
Wow.
I want to tell you something. That stuff in that pamphlet, read it. It's good stuff. Use it. It works.
Yeah, and
I
you
might
can
just
have
move.
that.
I just might.
And
move
that was
to
that was an unpaid endorsement.
Right. We didn't ask for that.
That's good. Like I said, I'm
When
moving
Jody
now.
watches the show, she'll appreciate it. She watches us, and
Nothing but love for you,
It's a
Jody.
great idea.
and
Just
she's
have
been
one for
selling a
Europe,
bunch
too.
of them over time, so it's all good stuff. We'll be at Hollywood Lanes on June 6th, so check us out there at that location. And then I got to do a couple public announcements here, at least one. If you get a close-up on this, I'm on the Bethel Park Community Foundation. I'm one of the trustees, and they have grant money. Matter of fact, I'm going to one of our meetings, which is every couple months, and we'll be talking about dispersing funds. So thanks for taking advantage. $300 some here, $300 over there for different groups in Bethel Park. Anything from $100 up to $5,000. Come to one of our meetings. Contact Dan Duff. Go check it out on, the web. It's www.bpcf.org, and you can request forms and additional information. If you have questions, you can contact me. I'll find it out for you, or at least pass it on upward there. So it's a great thing in our community. Smoking Jim, if you want to start some organization here for sports and helping other kids out, well, maybe not. He likes Monroeville, so we'll forget that. Then we're supposed to be at a free family fun night, the first one of the year for 2016 with the Meadows Standardbred Owners Association and Heather Wilder. So we'll be there Friday night at 5 o'clock. There's free games, fun. You don't have to even bet on a horse, Smoking Jim, and you can win prizes. Come on out. It'll be a great night. And one of our guests, Christina Chirimbolo, she'll be singing. She's a world-renowned singer, has an orchestra with her. She'll be one of the performers there. And they also have fireworks at 9 o'clock, Smoking Jim. So it's a great night there at the Meadows. We'll be doing our next show there, and that's this Friday night, the 27th, 5 p.m. As Roger Houston would say, be there. So that's what we have. Let's see, we're down to 12 and a half minutes. I don't know where that time went tonight, but we covered a lot of ground. Look at that guy with that baseball hat down there. I just love him
giving
wearing
signs
that.
over here too.
Definitely. Is that hit away?
I want to give signs.
Ernie, one of the things that saddened me so much about, when Willie Stargell passed. Willie Stargell actually passed away the day that PNC Park opened. That was that was heartbreaking, and I'm glad that whatever demons that were in PNC Park have been exorcised, because now we're playing winning baseball on a pretty regular basis. And that leads me into, let's get into our Pirate segment. Interesting news I heard this afternoon on the radio. One of the top sports writers in the country, and I can't remember his name, not that it matters at all, but they were ranking the top 100 prospects in the minor leagues. And the Pittsburgh Pirates have 3 of the top 20 prospects in all of Major League Baseball.
Wow. Pitchers? What are they?
Tyon, Glasnow, and I'm drawing.
Well, you've got so much trivia in your mind.
You know what? I will think of it, but they had 3 of the top 20 of in all of Major League Baseballs, and that just goes to show you that not only are the Pirates investing money in the team they have on the field, signing Francisco Crivelli, but their money has been invested in the minor league system, and there's players to replace the ones that move on, because the unfortunate part about professional sports anymore is that because it's a business. There's no loyalty for players, for the teams to the players. Players move on, and that's the system we live in. But we've got players to replace the ones that leave. So,
do you think they miss Neil Walker? What do you think?
There was a time when the Pirates really needed to have Neil Walker playing on the team, and because he was a hometown boy, and there were so many people disillusioned with the Pirates. And I think, to be very honest with you, let me just get this out. I love Neil Walker as a player, as a Pittsburgher, as a representative of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm not going to badmouth him, but I honestly think that the Pirates are a better team defensively with him gone than they were. What they're missing with his bat, they're making up for in the field. And as a matter of fact, I was sitting at the game Saturday night, and a friend of mine and I were talking, and a ball was hit sharply to Harrison's right. And he went over, extended, caught the ball, or snagged the ground ball, threw out the runner at first, and we both looked at each other, and he said Walker would have never touched that. So I mean, it's sad that he had to go, but that's the business of baseball.
He's playing well in New York, so
and somebody is going to open up the bank book for him next year.
And he can pay his rent, so
Yeah,
he's doing all
yeah.
right.
And I mean, somebody like the Yankees or
Yeah.
the Angels, somebody with real deep pockets will take him, and and I wish Neil nothing but the best.
You talked about the Willie Stargell demons, but how did Pirates doing with the Sid Bream curse?
Well, that seems to have been passed as well.
Wow.
That was
card.
never a
You know what,
curse.
though? Wait.
Wild card only.
If you remember in that game in the Sid Bream night, the ball that was hit before that, wasn't it? Who was
He's a friend of the show.
You know, he was on our show last year,
Who was
too.
it?
Sid Bream. was
Sid
friends.
Bream. Well, I got to know Sid through his kids from playing basketball. He was out in
He's a
Seneca
very
Valley.
nice man, first class,
very
religious
Christian
guy.
man. But
What happened?
the play before that, who was the former manager of the Pirates that played right field for him, I want to say? I'm trying to remember this. Maybe you guys can help me.
Burden?
No, the black coach that was hit with the Pirates for a while.
Lloyd McClendon.
Lloyd McClendon.
Black
Wasn't he
coach.
playing for the Pirates at
Head
that
coach.
time?
Yes, he was.
And didn't there was a ball hit the right field that it was going to the wall and he let it drop in front of him to put him in that position?
Right.
Does anyone remember?
Yeah,
Vaguely.
that's a great point. I
know.
mean,
And they want to bang
remembers-
Barry Bonds.
Everybody remembers the last play because that's the one that ended the game.
But
It's what put them in that position. For example,
Right.
everybody says Bill Mazeroski is a hero for hitting a home run in the bottom of the ninth inning in the 1960 World Series. But there was it Dick Stewart? Or I can't remember who it was. Somebody else hit a home run that put us in a position where we went into the ninth inning with
Right.
a tie. And put us in a
forget
position
his-
so that
Right.
home run's not hit. Mazeroski never becomes a hero.
right. And who was on
Exactly.
deck when Bobby Thompson hit the home run, heard around the world?
No, I've heard that recording a million times. That's just a few years before my birth.
Me too.
Just show you.
all
The
good.
Giants win the pennant. The Giants
We're
win the pennant.
independent.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
some good sports.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of good sports, I got to change the subject a little. Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Passion. They won their division again. So I predicted a three-peat. This is how they do it. So
Good for the
they'll be
Passion.
in the playoffs again and won their half of the women's football league. So congrats to them. And let me think. I had somebody else that won. We had the Wild Things. They opened their season up with a win at home. So congratulations to them. We got a lot of great sports in the area. So not only the major teams, and I don't know what the Buccos are doing except 3-0 is what I had heard. So hopefully it's still there. Go Buccos. But I'm more concerned about the Pucks.
Yeah, and I want to make a comment because I know, Ernie's big into basketball.
Yeah.
Before we get into pucks, and I made criticisms of the NHL because of their lack of enforcement of any type of rules
Yes.
to enhance player safety. Did you see the game Sunday night between the Warriors and the Thunder?
A lot of kicking.
How is it that Draymond Green, is that
Yeah.
it? Can kick a man in the groin in the course of the game and only get a $25,000 fine, which, when you're making $10, $15 million a year is like fining me $50. How is that not include a suspension? I'm never going to understand that one.
And it's still 3-0 Buccos. Thanks, Devin.
He
If I saw that replay once, I saw it a million times. They played. I was out eating last night at someplace, and it was on the screen. All I kept seeing was the kick. Gee, Christmas.
Yeah.
Ned Adams. This gets a kid who played at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he played at Pittsburgh.
Steve
He's
Adams.
from Australia.
Oh, he's from New Zealand.
Okay, my stand corrected.
But I saw him in the gym at Pitt
Yeah.
one year. I went into the back gym, and he's there playing, and he.
A great athlete.
I'm
for
thinking,
7
who
foot
is
tall.
this guy?
Right.
I'm like, with this AAU, we're going to practice in the back gym, and the Pitt players are playing. And I go, who did they get this guy?
And look, he left college to go early too. So
Well,
give
he
him
was a
credit.
hardship case because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got, I think he's got, 13 brothers and
Yeah,
sisters.
he's the
A big
youngest.
family that was, destitute. So, he gets out after his first year of college to provide for the family. So, you get,
No, there's some good things out there too, and it's a shame with the NBA and the thuggery and all sports. Smoking Jim.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know why that's a lot of politics.
here's the thing. We're gonna suspend people for deflating balls. We're gonna suspend people for this or for that, the other thing. I'm telling you right now, when there's these egregious offenses, whether like the hit by Perfect on Antonio Brown,
Clean hit.
you want to make a message. You want stuff to stop. Stiffer fines. Suspend him for a year. Okay, I know that sounds kind of extreme. I bet you wouldn't see too many more hits.
How
like
about
that.
Shay's ears hit on a running back from Cincinnati?
And they didn't even throw a flag.
It was a good hit, just like Burfict, clean hit.
But you know, Green was on the cover of Sports Illustrated,
Yes.
and that's what is it? The bad things that happen.
Curse.
If you're
Yeah, the
cursed.
the curse.
And
of
I was
sports.
saying, I wonder how he's going to be cursed, and he did.
He got
He's been
it.
playing horrible.
Well, yeah, you know,
And he was frustrated, so he kicked the guy.
you know,
Right.
and
Accidental.
And how is that okay?
On purpose.
Well, we got away with it on the playground, right?
Yeah.
There was no replay in the playground.
And I'll tell you what, the Thunder are giving the Warriors everything they can handle
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
They're up
And now
2-1
it's
on them.
and Toronto beat
And I'm
the
telling you,
Cavs.
regardless of my friend's opinion to my left, if the Warriors don't win a championship, they are not the greatest team of all time.
Well,
Don't worry, he's lost houses before.
Would they
on
have won it
teams.
last year if Love and Kyrie Irving would have been healthy?
No.
I think
I don't-
Toronto. I think Toronto said they're healthy now.
Well, and I'm going to tell you something. Toronto is surprised
He's
me
home
by
and- he's home and
telling
home.
you 2-2.
The year the Celtics won it, the Lakers beat them by 40 that one game, and I remember going, "Gosh, how could they ever beat them?" The Celtics won. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at Oklahoma loses by 40 in the semis of the NCAA tournament. So it's one game, but the one thing about the NBA or in professional sports, at least there's a best of 7.
Yes.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Not
Smoking
just a
Jim
wild
will
card,
bring up
running
baseball. Oh, did you already start that?
Baseball.
Did you start that already? Okay.
What's he starting?
He starts about one and done isn't good, and I ask him, "What about the NCAA
Well,
tournament?
No,
Everybody's
but
one and done."
my point would be, what about what about the
that's
NFL
fluff.
playoffs? Yeah, they have a wild card team, but you could win your division and
Yeah.
be one and done.
You're talking about America's sport.
Maybe they could play into June and have a playoff. Just do it right.
Yeah, maybe August would be nice. They just go to training camp.
Now the president don't even
And
watch.
then while we're just bouncing
President don't
things
even
around,
watch baseball
it's
anymore.
been reported that now Tom Brady is going to is appealing his loss of his appeal. So this the Deflategate thing and the Tom Brady suspension is
Will
going to
not.
drag on, and if it gets accepted by this next court, it could actually stay in litigation until after the end of next season. So if Brady plays his cards right, he could finish his career,
I'd like to see
retire
him take it to the
before
Supreme Court.
before
He
he.
will.
And if the Supreme Court would waste 1/10 of a second on that, considering the problems that exist in the United States right now, they should all be fired.
Who is Brady's best friend? Donald Trump.
But
They
he
would
won-
all get thrown
But
out.
they beat him by they beat
Who knows?
Indiana by 45-7. I mean, with
Right.
a deflated ball.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
helps.
That whole issue anymore has absolutely nothing to do with
Right.
whether or not air was let out of balls or not. It's come down to the players' union it refuses to accept that they gave Roger Goodell the power that he has to discipline people. They gave him, exclusive powers to do this. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. Now they're saying that, well, they don't think that's right. Well, you know what? You saw the dollar signs in your eyes when you signed the agreement, and you couldn't sign that paper fast enough. Do you realize that the only team that did not ratify the collective bargaining agreement was the Pittsburgh Steelers because they knew what was in there. Everybody else were just like lambs being led to the slaughter.
Well,
They
here's
couldn't
what
wait.
it is. The union's actually for the top players, not the whole league. And the compromise was what they got on that, giving him the power. And the guys that are the strongest in the league figured that's not going to affect us.
Sounds like government.
We're
to me.
above the law, and it's similar to that. So that's why their contracts are compromises. Not everybody's happy with it. If they say they are, they usually aren't. And then they try to litigate it, which good luck on that. I mean, go Pens, go Buccos. Ernie, you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye. I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'll be down in Houston, Texas, hanging out with my granddaughter.
Say hi to Nolan
Second
for
birthday.
us and
I
your
will.
family.
I will.
Smoking Jim, 30 seconds, short and sweet.
Sure.
You're my man. I tell you what, Justin Steve. That's my thing.
Justin, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay. Chip,
Let's go Bucks. Let's go Pens.
let's go Justin, Steve. That's Hawk time. I'm Al Levine signing out. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate all the help you had. And have a nice Memorial Day. We'll be on after that next week. So stay Joey strong.